welcome back to this week's episode of I'm Set, the podcast. I am Danisha Roll.
I am Natasha Paul.
And I am Adriana Smith.
So many amazing things happened this week in sports, some controversial, some that, are leaving us with our mouths open, like, what the what?
Right.
Listen, it was a lot going on this week.
So we could start off with Ed Reed. Ed Reed, Hall of Famer, former Ravens player. He's a safety, now coaching at Bethune-Cookman College. And this week he went on a rant talking about the campus and trash being on the campus. What do you guys think about that?
And we got to add too that his office was not
it wasn't clean up
when he got there.
Well, first off, he says he doesn't have a contract, which is crucial. If you're going to hire somebody, let's start with, this is what it's going to be and outline everything. So nobody has any surprises. Nobody is, has anything to say, which is exactly what happened. So that's the number one frustration for him. Secondly, the facilities. Now, I don't know what Ed was expecting because this is an HBCU. And I understand his frustration. I disagree with his delivery because one thing you don't do is publicly bash your employer. If I was to publicly on any social media site bash my employer, I'm instantly fired.
Right.
Because that's not how you do business. Mm-hmm. And it's an HBCU. I get it. Their facilities are not going to be, UM at its peak in life, but he should have known that.
Right. Right.
I mean, I get it and I understand, but we don't really know what triggered that rant, right?
So that's what I don't understand. Was there someone that he was responding to, or what made him just go so publicly about all of the trash on campus? But if we kind of rewind, there was also a moment where he was talking about, was it phones going off or what the kids were, did the kids pick up behind themselves, cleaning up behind themselves? It was just something else that he had to say. So I'm taking it from the perspective that maybe Ed is coming to Bethune-Cookman and he is like, listen, we're going to turn this program around similarly to the way that Deion did at Jackson State.
Yeah.
But the thing about Deion is that Jackson State had a lot of problems, and none of us knew about the problems at Jackson State until after Deion left. And myself included, I was like so flabbergasted. Deion, how could you do this to us? Why would you leave the Black community to go to the white people?
Mm-hmm.
I was upset.
Predominantly white college, right?
I was
Colorado.
upset. But then you find out all that Deion did, how much money of his own money he spent to help that program. And you're like, okay, I get it. I'm my bad, Deion.
Them taking baths in the hotel pool because of the water situation in Jackson. It was a lot. Definitely was a lot. But here we are with Ed Reed at, Bethune-Cookman. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful that he'll be able to turn the program around and get some amazing talent there, and it'll sort of raise the cachet of Bethune-Cookman the same way that Deion was able to do at Jackson State.
But is Ed Reed I think of Deion as more than just an athlete, more than just a coach. Deion is a philosopher. If you really listen to him and follow his social, the stuff he puts out, you're like, thank you, I'm ready to go today. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Deion. And I just don't see Ed Reed as that type of person. And the thing about the players that were attracted to going to Jackson State for Deion is that he was that motivator and that inspirer, or, he was that person.
Sort of magnetic.
And I don't know that Ed Reed is that person.
And you got to think about Deion too, he's also a brand. And a lot of these players knew that, okay, with the new NIL, that if they was to transfer and go under, Deion, that it was going to make some money, right? Mm-hmm. So I do think too, what set Deion apart was the fact that even in his prime, literally, he was a brand and he still is a brand. So he was going to be able to set those players up. Now, Ed Reed, I don't know. He doesn't really give me that.
No, he doesn't. Not at all. Not to that level. But can we be hopeful?
We could definitely be hopeful. I don't know Ed Reed personally. Ed Reed might be a totally different person when he's talking to a player, when
Right.
it might be night and day from what we see, because Ed has always struck me as the quiet, keep to himself kind of guy.
Absolutely.
But, we have these coaches, like I've heard that Bill Belichick is nothing like how he presents himself to the media. So maybe Ed Reed is nothing like how he presents himself to the rest of the world.
Well, obviously, because we haven't heard him say very much in the media, but here he is on these rants.
Right.
So he clearly has it in him.
Well,
does.
at least we know he has passion.
Right. Let's clean up the trash.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So
Go ahead.
in keeping in line with what's been happening in the world of college football, there's a lot. And I first want to address what happened to Devin Willock and the Georgia staffer this weekend.
Chandler.
They tragically died in a car accident. I saw pictures of the accident, and it was absolutely devastating. I can't believe that 2 people survived that accident. And I just, we want our athletes to celebrate their victory. We want people, not just athletes, we want everybody to celebrate their victories in life, but we want them to do it in a safe way. And, they're coming home at almost 3 o'clock in the morning and run through a light pole and boom. And he had just declared for the draft. So devastating.
I think it's so sad because we have been seeing like a lot of these college players just losing their lives. And, as a parent, right, imagine like you send your kids off to college and you're excited for their future, and just to get that phone call, right, that your child is no longer here. I think that's probably like a parent's worst nightmare.
Absolutely.
Especially after something like that, like a huge victory, you're celebrating, and the last thing you expect is the fact that, hey, now that we have this celebration, we have to go and plan a funeral.
Right.
Devastating.
And, my heart really goes out to the Georgia football community, the football team, his family, her family. Like, there's so many people who are going to be affected by this. It's just like they're on an absolute high. They've won back-to-back national championships, and then one of their beloved players died. And a staff member, 2 people walked away. Thank God, blessings for them. But those 2 people, what the emotional trauma they now have to deal with because they had to see their friends die in front of them. I'm sure they were trapped in the car because the car, it didn't look like anybody could open a door.
Right.
It literally looked like aluminum foil squished up.
Definitely a parent's worst nightmare. I could not even fathom. So our hearts go out to Georgia, the team, the staff, the community.
I mean, in this college world, it's so much that's going on, especially with the player who's been found, got charged with capital murder.
Yes.
Yes.
That right there is just, first of all, it was the mugshots for me. The guy who was in the car, his mugshot, he's over here grinning.
He
And I
looked
was
very
like-
happy to
He
be
looked
in
very,
jail.
very happy. But I'm just like, wow, like let's talk about this, right? Because we really don't know, the depths of the situation and what happened. But, of course, reading comments, you hear people saying like, you can't, when you go to these colleges, you got to leave the hood behind. Like, you have to focus on your future and using wisdom with the people that you associate yourself with. Because here's the truth is like, that individual who was smiling in the mugshot really didn't look like he had much to lose. And I'm not trying to judge or anything like that, but you have to really weigh, where they were, right? You have this player who is on Alabama's basketball team, right? Who probably has a great future. And now that's done. That's dead because of the situation he's in. So like, what advice would you really give to these college players who typically go off to college, but they can't seem to disassociate themselves from what they were familiar with back home?
Right. I mean, what do you say to them? Some of the best advice that I've seen, like I've known people who lived in Gainesville their whole life and got highly recruited by University of Florida, but said, no, I don't want to stay home because everything that all the bad stuff I know is still there.
Right.
So they go as far away as possible. So for those guys, they have their mind, their heads on right. Like they know they want to get away from it, but it's still hard because these people are your lifelong friends. Like, what do you do? Forget your lifelong friend?
Yes, absolutely. If it's gonna cost me my future, absolutely.
She's
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. Listen, if you're gonna bring me into jail, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have me wearing orange, like orange is the new black, absolutely not. I am leaving you far, far behind. I am running like Harriet Tubman, and I am going to be free. No, because we have to be honest with that, right? And it's this false loyalty, like, oh my goodness, like if I leave you behind, then I'm not really loyal. No, you have an opportunity of a lifetime to change your life.
Right.
Why would you risk that? Like, look at Aaron Hernandez. Prime example. I literally cried. Listen, I was crying. I was like, Lord, what happened to his life? That was me. I was crying because I'm like, he had such a prominent future. Like, he was at the peak of his career, you know, with the Patriots. He had just signed a lucrative deal with the Patriots, and then boom, his whole future is done because what? Because what happened?
Because he couldn't leave the past behind. Okay, you got a point, girl.
Exactly. Right? So I just, yes, that's my advice. Leave them behind. Leave them behind. I don't care if they call you fake, call you a sellout, call you uppity, whatever. No, leave them behind, because at the end of the day, you have more to lose.
Yeah.
It's true.
But with Aaron, I mean, there was so much happening.
Absolutely.
Like, it was so much more than his friends. But
it was a lot.
But for this kid in Alabama, you know, allegedly they're saying, I saw the mom of the young lady posted that he killed her because she didn't want to talk to him. What is going on with these young people? Like, really? Why are y'all running after people, trying to beat them up, fight them, kill them, whatever, just because they don't want to talk to you? Come on.
I mean, but that's allegedly, though. We really don't know, the facts of what happened. We don't even know if he was the one who shot. Yeah. But he's typically now guilty by association.
Well, there's that.
And at the end of the day, nobody really cares to really know the truth. He's no longer on the team.
And looking at a murder charge.
And looking at a murder charge in Alabama as a black man. Oh, my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello?
But, okay, so we hear these stories too often.
Right.
Of, like, you know, and it's not just in the sports world. Look at the young lady in Orlando who died, Mia. The apartment maintenance guy.
Oh, yes. Now, that was tragic.
You know, it's not just in the sports world. It's everywhere. Like, you hear of these people who pray and attack and do whatever just because these women rebuff them and don't want their advances. So what do you do as a woman? Like,
it's scary. It is definitely scary to, you know, you want to be kind, but you don't want your kindness to be taken for weakness, and you also don't want it to be made out to be an advance when I'm really just trying to be kind so you don't cuss me out or you don't, you know, do bodily harm to me. So it is definitely scary, and I think that more men need to realize that just because someone doesn't want to talk to you doesn't mean that you should take it personally. To even think, I could not even conceptualize being a college student and having someone try to holler at me and me not being interested, and then they shoot up my car. Like, that is scary as a thought to even, you know, consider it. So, I mean, what can we do? What can we say? We live in a crazy world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but talking about life, okay? So we've talked about the tragedies and the death. Life. Naomi Osaka is having a baby.
She's having a baby.
Yes.
I was shocked. I had to zoom in. It was like, oh, she hit her pregnancy well.
And a lot of people have a lot of things to say about her having this baby. Oh, they are going in on her on social media. Number one, because they're upset that she is foregoing her career in order to have a family. And I mean, geez.
Knowing her, first of all, I need them to use common sense, right? Knowing her, do you really think she planned to get pregnant?
But whether or not she planned to get pregnant, the
Pregnant.
reality is she is.
Listen,
And it's her life.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is what she's choosing to do, we've seen her take mental health breaks.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen her really advance her business acumen outside of the sport. I mean, let her live. If she wants to have this baby, let her. Why? Who are we to be angry about it?
nobody ever says anything when male athletes take time off for their kids. You know, back when D Wade and Gabby Union had their daughter, he took paternity leave in 2018. He took nobody ever said anything about him taking paternity leave. We watched RG3 in the middle of a live broadcast say, guys, deuces, my wife is in labor.
Right.
I gotta go. And everybody was like, oh, that's so cute and adorable. Go RG3, protect your family, blah, blah, blah. But nobody was like, well, he ditched work and his broadcast career, like that was so unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. Like nobody says anything about that. And, you know, when Isaiah from the Celtics, when his sister died, literally died, and he decided to play the playoff game, everyone was like, oh, that's so courageous, and he's so amazing for doing that. But what did the Celtics do? They were like, thanks for your service. We'll see you later.
Okay, well, let's talk about these comments, right? Because even with her, there were people who were happy, but you also heard people in the comments like, are we now glamorizing women having babies and not married? What are your thoughts about that? Because that was literally the main discussion in the comment section when I was going through it. There was like, okay, another woman pregnant, but where's the ring? Where's the marriage? Like, it's just now become a trend. What are your thoughts?
It is. It is. Listen, flat out, it is. More and more people are having kids and just, you know, being domestic partners. More and more people don't want to actually legally sign documents to say I am married. Because listen, marriage is more than just like I love you, you love me, and we're going to be together. Marriage is a business. It is a contract for life. Everything that you have and your husband have joins together. And I mean, no offense to Naomi Osaka's boyfriend, but I really don't know who Corday is. I just know his name is Corday.
Wait, he has a career. He's a rapper.
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
man.
I honestly didn't know who he was either. I'm not going to even act. I really didn't know who he was.
I know he's in the music
okay.
industry. I couldn't even tell you, but I'm pretty sure Naomi Osaka has way more assets than he does. And this could be a business decision for her. Like, listen, like, I love you, but I'm not ready to just join all that together just then. And I know they said you could do a prenup and all that good stuff, but I mean, that's her decision.
Right.
And yes, it is more and more of a trend to not get married and just live together and just.
But you know, like a baby still has, like, you still have to partner to parent this child. So
It's true. What do you think about it?
I mean, you know me, I'm always an advocate of, you know, going the marriage route, right? Because I want to see like these children grow up in a one household, you know, with two parents in the one house. Like, that's just my belief. And when I see a lot more women who has adopted the mindset of like, I don't mind just having a baby, I don't really care to be a wife, I'm always thinking about, dang, here we go again with the single mothers or the single parent household, because ultimately, like, these kids deserve to be able to grow up in a healthy house. Not saying that if one parent raises a child, like they won't have like a good life, but I just want to see more families, you know? But we don't judge anybody's decision. At the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna say, oh my God, Naomi, like, why is she out here having, you know, a child with her boyfriend? At the end of the day, I am not her mother, you know. That is her life and she has to live her life. And I just think with fans, they are so invested in these athletes' personal lives. Like, at the end of the day, that is their life. They are humans. They're going to make their own decisions. Their job is to go out, play the sport. You find entertainment in that, and that's it. But I just think that fans don't really understand that the athlete is still human outside of their sport. Whatever they decide to do, let them live their life. And that's it.
So let me ask you this, because what if Naomi and Corday say, you know what, we might not actually want to legally bind ourselves together, but we want to be married? What if they have a ceremony and he puts a ring on her finger and says, we're married, but they're not legally married? Would that be better?
So would they really be married?
That's what I'm saying. That's literally, that's what I'm like, wait, hold on, what?
But you have to understand, marriage is it's a legal thing.
It's a covenant,
Right.
absolutely.
It's a legal thing. So, back in the day,
So they
before
put
we
Goldie
had,
Hawn.
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn.
Oh yeah, and Kirk Russell.
Dating ourselves. But they just agreed that they were going to be together. They weren't going to get married. Or, we have Oprah and Stedman,
Yep.
who they're together. They've been together many years. They're not getting married.
But I mean, if you're gonna still act married, why don't you just get married?
How about this? Because a lot of
Do you think
people,
it's a selfish thing though? Because like, hey, just in case you leave me, I don't want to give you half of what I own, kind of thing. Do you think?
But I mean, there's so many ways that you
like,
can
you
avoid
know,
that.
like-
I mean, it's
okay, so we all look at LeBron James and his wife Savannah, and they have a beautiful marriage and they have their family, but he wasn't always married to her. He only married her a few years ago. Like,
it's true.
they weren't always married. She had all 3 kids, I believe, before they actually got married.
But she's married to him though.
But for
So, okay.
several years, she was a baby mom. She was just his girlfriend.
But
Okay.
today she's married to him, right?
But would you be okay with just being with someone for
Oh, no.
6-7 years and then we decide later?
Absolutely not. That's just me.
That's-
I'm not doing it.
But it's more and more common to see that, people being together. Look at Paul George. They had a bunch of kids, and then he finally married her. Are they married? Or he engaged? I think they're engaged. But either way, Draymond Green, they just got married last year.
How long they been together?
No, but they have like 3 children, I think.
Right.
So
I mean, to each his own. I think everybody has their own standard. Everybody know their own situation. You got to think about what works best for you. At the end of the day, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be in no long-term relationship with you. Because at the end of the day, it's still a risk because you don't know if this person would honestly turn around and marry you. And so then you got to really think about it. Look at Cam Newton.
Oh,
And his
Kaya.
yeah.
Yeah, that. If we needed any example,
Yeah,
and that's no shade to her or him or the situation, but it's a real thing, right? She had how many kids?
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and
It's a
I
whole
personally
tribe
thought
there.
they were
I think
gonna
it's like 5 total. She had her
And-
daughter first, and then the 4 kids.
right,
after.
and I honestly thought they were gonna get married because she was really there from the beginning, but that
And he
situation
stayed
didn't.
getting her pregnant. Like, I don't think she had a break from pregnancy.
Right. So, I mean, personally, like when you see certain situations, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. It's like a man knows if he's going to marry you. It just is what it is. A man knows.
On the flip side of it, this week we've seen Lori Harvey.
My
and
girl.
She has a new beau.
Shout out to Lori Harvey.
So what do you think about, okay, you're not going to sit and wait for him to decide, but now you have somebody who is fully enjoying being single and exploring her options.
They just need to leave Lori Harvey alone. Leave Lori Harvey alone. Listen,
I
just
agree.
leave her alone. At the end of the day, if that's not something you would do, then it shouldn't really bother you. I just think, she's out here and she's dating. And I think the issue is the type of men she's dating, because that's just been the topic of discussion. Like, man, she's just out here dating all of these elite Black men and she's just leaving them for dead afterwards.
I feel like she is a gorgeous girl with options.
Right.
Live.
Right. And
So Lori was engaged. She went
She was.
that route. And I mean, I'm sure she thought she was going to get married,
Mhm.
and that didn't work out. So maybe that was her eye opener. That was her lesson. Like, I'm going to do me and I'm going to live my best life. And I don't care who has anything to say about it, which is what she's doing.
Clearly.
Right. And then too, like I said, we don't know her personally, and we don't even know if if these relationships are just her just dating, or actually she gets in these relationships thinking these relationships will really work out. We don't really know her heart desire. I feel like if she was engaged before, she probably really do desire to be a wife. But what people don't understand, that one bad relationship can really mess you up.
Right.
And you have a lot of women who go through a relationship where they thought that this was going to be the man that I'm going to marry. And we don't know if she really planned her life like, okay, this relationship, she had the ring on her finger, everything, like, I'm going to marry this man. We don't know what happened. We don't know if that man really broke her heart. We don't know the depths of that situation that had her be like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to allow no man to play me. Like, we don't know what triggered this Lori Harvey, because to be honest, she wasn't like that before. We really knew nothing about her like that. We just knew she was very beautiful
right?
And she was low key. But now we see her out just dating a lot of these elite men, and people have a lot to say about it.
I don't even think that it's not that she's not low key. It's just that she dates very popular,
Right.
very global men. So people know who her beaux are. People know who the men that she is dating. And, they're really high up there. But who is she supposed to date? Like, who do you want her to date? Do you want her to date, like, the garbage man or give the postman a try? Or, like, who do you want her to date?
But honestly, I personally don't think that she has to always date somebody who is elite in that type of way. Eve find herself a low-key billionaire.
How many billionaires you think there are?
He don't gotta be high key. He could be low key with a bag. It's okay.
Even if it's a billionaire, like, people are gonna know who a billionaire is. Or even if she dates the accountant, Lori Harvey is not gonna date the regular accountant. He's gonna be he's gonna be like the Rich Paul of accountants.
But what I'm saying is he doesn't really necessarily have to be in the limelight. Like, he can still be, low key, but high key, when it comes to his status. And it could still give her everything that she's looking for. Like, at the end of the day, we don't know the dynamics with these relationships, because as much as these people are coming for Lori Harvey, these men know Lori Harvey. They know exactly who she's dated. They read the comments. They're heavy on the shade room as well. So it's not like they're not aware. So you have to also look at it. Are these men also coming into relationship with her to boost their name up as well, because they understand being connected to her is going to get them publicity?
Because there's a lot of guys out here that look for opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Men are opportunists too.
Yeah.
Well, none of them have anything bad to say about her, because according to the rumors, she makes them sign NDAs. Good for her, because she gets out of these relationships. And if this is true, then none of these guys can say a word about Lori.
Let me tell you something. Lori Harvey said, you is not going to Irv Gotti me.
No,
you ain't going to. Listen, she was like, baby. We not going to have an Irv Gotti in a Ashanti situation. She was like, sign this NDA and let's keep it pushing.
Kudos to her.
I wonder if she's like, okay, their publicist reached out to her publicist. We want to take you on a date. Okay, here's my NDA, and then I'll meet you at the restaurant later tonight.
That's a good question.
Lori Harvey, we need to know. Okay, we might need to have you come on here and, set some stuff straight.
Set it straight. Yes. Okay, so we have a quick rapid fire.
Okay.
5 quick questions. Natasha, you want to start?
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask you, Adriana, is what is your word of 2023?
Fruitfulness. Okay. That's my word.
Fruitfulness. Okay, that's a good word. Why did you choose that word?
I came into this year saying, like, I want to be fruitful. Everything I do, I want to produce good fruit. And one thing about fruitfulness is when you are fruitful, you are operating in abundance. So I'm just believing that this is going to be that year for me, a year of overflow, a year of abundance, a year of just being fruitful.
Okay. Next question. The month you are most looking forward to?
Every month.
Okay. All right. Next question is one thing that people don't really know about you.
So I had leg braces when I was little.
Which is crazy to me.
Yes, I was definitely looking like Forrest Gump.
The dancer.
You go from leg braces to dancing to, you move.
Listen, my mother was a wise woman, because I'm telling you, my legs was like this. Like real bow leg, like an O. real life.
Kiddo.
And so they was like, no, we can't have her like this, and they gave me leg braces. So I'm thankful that they did that because we're here
Yeah.
today.
And what's your first vacation of 2023?
New York.
Okay, that's still a vacation.
Yeah.
Anywhere that's not here is a vacation.
I mean, I'm going there to speak, but
Okay.
you know, it's gonna. Can I be honest with y'all? I'm not ready for that. I don't own a coat
Oh, right. Florida girl.
to the bone.
I don't own any sweaters. I have a coat by default, but I'm with you. I live in the South. I live in the very, very South. I don't own sweaters. I barely have boots because I'm not going to be one of those people where I put on boots when it's 70 degrees. I'm just not.
Listen, they told me it's supposed to be like what, 50, 30, 20 out there, and I said, your girl not ready. I'm sorry, but
Ooh.
that's it.
What's the best thing that happened to you this past weekend?
I woke up.
There you go.
Yes. It's a good thing. Okay.
Okay, Denisha, you're next.
All right. All right. So my word for this year is purpose. So I really want to be purposeful in everything that I do. My goal is to pull the trigger. Hashtag empty the clip.
Yep.
Whatever it is, do it full force. Don't wait till tomorrow if I could do it today. So purpose.
Your month?
My month, I'm really looking forward, guys, to August. It is my husband's birthday, and I really want to celebrate him. He has just been like everything. And I mean, not that I couldn't celebrate him tonight or tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to. And he don't even know it, but
Now he does.
Now he does.
And what is one thing nobody knows about you?
One thing that nobody knows about me is that I was born a preemie. My mother did not even know she was pregnant with me.
Wow.
There are 13 years between myself and my sister.
Oh,
so
they were
weren't
really not planning you.
expecting. And here I am. I was born at 3 pounds, fully developed.
Wow.
And yeah, not many people know that.
Well, that's a lot to share.
Yeah.
What's your first vacation of 2023?
First vacation, we are going to Mont Tremblant.
Ooh.
Where's
Canada.
this?
So
Okay.
Montreal will be actually skiing. So like you guys, my son, our youngest, has never been in snow. And so this will be his first time going into the snow. So here we go.
Okay. Now, Natasha.
Well, wait. The best thing that happened to her
Yes.
this past weekend.
Oh, best thing. Okay, guys, my daughter lost a cat. Now I never thought I was going to be a cat person. You know, we typically don't have cats in our culture. But we have a hairless cat, a Sphynx cat named Archibald. We call him Archie, and we love this cat. The cat got out. My daughter was just in tears. We have flyers printed, called again. I mean, it was just a whole ordeal. And the cat wound up coming back home. We saw him right outside the patio window, and everyone was celebrating. So that was this weekend.
Yep. I have a cat too, and he always runs outside, or used to. Now I've got him under control now. He looks longingly outside the window, but would always run out. I'm like, you know what? You'll find your way home. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I said he knows where his bread is buttered. So
Mhm.
he's back. Welcome back, Archie.
All right, so it's on me now. My word of 2023 is accountability. Not just for myself. I'm going to start holding others accountable too, because I am always the first person to be like, my fault or my bad. And what I have found in situations is that it's not only one person who's wrong. There's always two sides where both parties did something bad. And both parties need to be held accountable. So accountability in that sense, accountability in just, doing the things I say I'm going to do. I've actually wrote down what I'm going to do for 2023 so I can go back at the end of the year and say, okay, you did this and you didn't do that. So accountability is a big thing. The second question was my month that I'm looking forward to?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I really am looking forward to the month of October. And I like October because for me, it's like the start of the holiday season. And, it's my youngest daughter's birthday is that month. And then my oldest is the second month in November. And then there's Thanksgiving and Christmas. So October is like the start of the holidays for me. I start taking vacation.
Okay.
The next question
Little
was,
known fact. What's something
What's
that-
somebody? What
oh,
is something?
y'all are gonna judge me. Y'all are
What?
really gonna judge me. I don't know how to ride a bike. I never learned. So when I was like 10 years old, my neighbor tried to teach me, and then she moved. So there was that. And then when I was like 35, my ex tried to teach me, and then we broke up. So I still don't know how to ride a bike, y'all. I'll learn maybe this year. Don't, look at Adriana. Adriana's like,
No,
girl.
I'm not judging you, but y'all heard what she said. My good sis Natasha don't know how to ride a bike.
It's all
So we have to teach you how to ride it today. Like that, we gonna hold you accountable, sis. You gonna learn how to ride a bike
I'm gonna
this
learn how to
year.
ride a bike
2023,
this
you
year.
gonna ride a
Oh,
bike.
God, I'm like gonna fall off and scrape my knees and all sorts
But
of.
once you get it, you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna learn. Okay,
Vacation.
vacation. The first vacation I'm going on is a cruise next month. So, yeah,
Nice.
I think it's to the Bahamas. So there.
And the best thing that happened to you this weekend.
Oh gosh, the best thing, I mean, I had a pretty uneventful weekend. It was super chill, and I did gardening. I've like developed this thing where like I'm growing plants. I have an okra tree, and I'm growing teddy bear sunflowers and violas and begonias. Oh yeah, I'm all in it. So I worked out on Saturday, and then I spent like 3 or 4 hours just gardening. And it was sunny. It was cold, but it was sunny and nice. And it was so peaceful. I loved it.
Okay, let us find out you got a green thumb.
I really don't. I really don't. I'm just trying though, but it's growing. So I'm like, oh my God, my little plants.
Nice. Okay. Very good. Well, you guys have joined us for our episode of I'm Set the podcast. We look forward to having you again next week.
Thank you guys.
And make sure you subscribe, okay? And join our set family.
Yes. Like, comment, and share.